Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of Parsons Productions. I'm your host Arya, and in today's episode we're going to install this Invidia N1 exhaust on this 2013 BRZ. So if that's what you came here for, stay tuned.
So our next step in installing the Invidia N1 exhaust is to remove our stock exhaust. Yesterday, I came by, lifted the car up, and I took a lubricant, or penetrating fluid, oiled down all of the hardware. That's gonna make our job 10 times easier. Occasionally on these older cars, rust will form, and it will make those bolts impossible to remove. So the fact that I did that is gonna make this job a million times easier. Let's get into it. So there is 14mm bolts holding this stock exhaust on. If you'll take a quick peek under here, you can see these rusty boys are what we need to remove. There's not one, but two of them we're gonna go and remove. I've got my sockets and my impact gun. I'm going to attach one end here and the other end here. It's gonna be a little on the loud side, so just hold those ears. Okay, so like I was saying before, these bolts can get really rusty, especially if you live on the East Coast. Spraying them down ahead of time is a fantastic idea. Mine were a little stuck on there, so I used a breaker bar to really loosen them up. Safety glasses are also very important because a bunch of crap is gonna fall down, it's gonna get in your eyes, and you're not gonna have a good time.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Okay, so the next part we need to accomplish is to remove the stock muffler. Now that we have the bolts removed, there are not one, not two, not three, but 4 rubber exhaust hangers we need to remove. These can be a little tricky sometimes. A good trick is to use penetrating fluid, such as WD-40 or bead blaster, to remove the stubborn stuckness, and hopefully that lubricant will make things nice and easy to remove. There is 4 in here, so that's gonna make it a little bit more challenging, but once they are off, the muffler will just slide right out, and we'll be on our way to installing an Invidia N1. All right, so the exhaust hangers are officially removed. Now we can remove the whole exhaust without dropping it on your face. Here is one stock Subaru BRZ muffler. It's got a little bit of weight to it. It's not too heavy though. Okay, so the very next step would be to remove the mid pipe. The mid pipe is this section right here, and it is held on by that exhaust hanger as well as the bolts. However, we need to remove the bolts first so it can freely hang when we get to removing the hangers. Let's get into that. Say goodbye to Quiet Boy BRZ. You can see I hit some rather large curbs here. We're not going to talk about that one now. But this is the entire system that we're going to be removing, because the Invidia N1 is going to replace both of these. It's not going to replace the overpipe or the headers. That's going to be for a later date, but this is what we're going to be replacing. Okay, so this is the Invidia N1 mid-pipe. We're going to go in and install this. There's some fresh hardware as well as some gaskets we're going to be installing as well to go along with it. And this is going to replace this section right here. You can see the difference with it. And don't worry, there is like another Y section that's going to connect these two to the muffler. So there are 2 ends to this mid-pipe. You can see the smaller section right here and a bigger section in the back. The smaller section is going to go to your stock application, the overpipe, as well as 2 bolts and 2 nuts, as well as 1 exhaust gasket. Let's put them on. So on these exhaust bolts, I'm putting some stuff called Loctite on it. This Loctite will hopefully prevent the bolts from backing out on each other, and because there's gonna be a lot of vibrations down here, I don't want them to back out, so I'm gonna put a little bit of this on here before I install it all. Next, it's time for the Y pipe. This part's super exciting because it says Invidia on the back, which is really cool. You're not really gonna be able to see this because my car is lowered significantly. You won't really see this unless you're underneath the car, but I know it's there, which makes me happy, which makes everything great at the end of the day. Let's install this nice little Y pipe after we put a exhaust gasket as well as the bolts, and then both the mufflers will attach to the end of the Y pipes. Let's do it. This is like my first actual performance exhaust. Like, I've had cars where I've taken the muffler off before and I was like, yeah, that's cool. Now I'm like older to where I know that just like taking the muffler off your car isn't the cool thing to do anymore. So I'm very glad I'm evolving. On my Mustang, my V6 Mustang. I unbolted the car and my parents got very upset with me. They thought exhaust fumes would be entering the car and I'd be getting like exhaust high while driving. They were not happy with that.
Did it sound better?
No, it sounded really bad. I thought it sounded cool at the time. But looking back at it now, I was like, wow, that sounded really bad. It was really loud. Not in a good way. Oh, I got really close to my face. So I'm not tightening everything up quite yet. I'm just getting everything all loosey-goosey because it's going to need some adjustment. It's gonna need some aligning. So just leaving everything kind of loose for the time being. All your odds and ends all worked out before. And there's the white pipe installed. Now for the best part, the mufflers with the titanium burnt tip. These are gonna look super, super cool. I cannot wait to install these. Same process as for the Y pipe and the mid pipe. These are gonna go in. These are gonna go in with the exhaust gasket, and we will attach them with the exhaust hangers. Okay, so with this first muffler, I've got a little bit of a diffuser on my car, so it's gonna be a little different. I'm just gonna put it in the exhaust hangers, and I'm gonna kind of feed it through my diffuser. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm going around to tighten all the bolts. Like I said earlier, I'm just leaving them all loose, just so I can get everything kind of locked in place. And now I'm going around and just giving everything a nice good tighten, just so it doesn't go anywhere.
That was pretty quick.
You're telling me.
The whole thing took maybe 30 minutes, honestly, altogether.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Whoa. Wow. It's not that loud, but it's not that quiet either.
I love it.
You like it? It's cold. Stop it. All right, baby rev, baby rev. Baby rev, it's cold. Stop it.
That was still a baby rev. It only went to 40.
All right, kill it. Kill it. Wow. Not bad, not bad. Very nice. Let's talk about the BRZ's Invidia N1 Performance Aftermarket Exhaust. He just got into the trash and it stinks. He smells like the trash. He's gonna need a bath later. Anyway, first overall impression of the BRZ's Invidia N1 exhaust is fantastic. To tell you the truth, it's a little quieter than I expected. It's docile, you know, for a, this car is my daily driver. I don't drive it every single day when I'm on call for work. However, when I drive it every other 4 days or so, it's a nice reminder that, hey, my car has an aftermarket exhaust. And you know, it's not insanely loud to where it gets annoying. I've driven plenty of vehicles with aftermarket exhaust before, and there's a fine line between awesome and tacky. And if you go with something that's crazy loud and it's really, really cool, yeah, it's awesome, but it's gonna get really, really old really, really fast eventually. And with the Invidia N1, it doesn't have that long drone like a lot of cheap exhausts would. And you know, to tell you the truth, when I was originally researching this exhaust, I was considering going with the eBay special exhaust, the one that costs like 50 to 100 bucks. It's definitely not worth it because I have had exhaust like that on my previous car, as you saw earlier with my Mustang. Okay, so we are in the Subaru BRZ. It is nice. Just feels good. Feels a lot more like a sports car, you know. The sports car feeling was there. Woo-hoo-hoo. Ooh. I don't know if y'all heard that, but that's the power of the Invidia N1. Just messing around. It's a lot louder. I love the fact that the car is actually, you can hear some of the power in the engine. Now, you do gotta remember the Subaru BRZ has the FA20, which is notorious for being not that great of an engine, and it does the job. It doesn't sound like the normal like STI rumble. That's what I'm really going for. In order to get that awesome sound, the Subaru sound, you need a set of headers. Now this car only has a catback or a catalytic converter back exhaust, so it's not going to sound freaking amazing right now, but it does sound a lot better than stock. And once I get to a little bit more open of a road here on my private property, we're going to go ahead and open it up a little bit more, and you can kind of hear the sound. Okay, here goes a nice little pull with new exhaust, starting it at 3,000. Yeah, that wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. That was from about a 15 mile an hour roll to 60. Wow, a little more than 60. But yeah, it sounded great. It sounded really nice. That wraps up today's episode of Parsons Productions. I appreciate y'all for watching, and stay tuned next week when we dig into these motorcycles. They are far too neglected, and I cannot wait to share what's in store for them. Till then, adios.